to the channel. Today on the channel we're going to be doing a new body front end swap on a 2014 Dodge Charger. So we got a 2021 front end, a complete front clip. It's the front bumper, the hood, the fenders, the headlights, and the radiator support. All these parts right here is all the parts we need to swap this front clip onto this car. And it's literally going to be no modifications needed other than rewiring the pigtails for the headlights. So we're going to go step by step and show you how to install all these parts. But the first step we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove everything from this car. So remove the fenders, the front bumper, the hood, the headlights, and the radiator support. And once we get all that removed, we can start installing everything else.
First step on tearing the car down is going to be removing the front bumper.
So after you get the clips off the front of the bumper right here, you're gonna want to get the clips out this fender well, and then there's gonna be a 10mm bolt that holds the rest of this bumper on. But as soon as you get all that taken off, it'll slide right off, and you'll repeat the process on this side, and the whole bumper will come right off.
Once you got the 10mm bolt off on this side, you're gonna pop the clip out. Same thing on this side, and all you're gonna want to do, lift it up, pull back, and that's it.
So the next step after we get the bumper off, we're gonna want to pull the fenders completely off. And if you see, there's a 10mm bolt there, a 10 there, there's gonna be 10 right here, and there's gonna be a couple 10s. There's gonna be 2 10s here, and there's gonna be one 10 behind here. But you're gonna have to take this fender liner out of your way to be able to get to those. Also, you're gonna have to pull this side skirting down to be able to get to the 2 bottom 10s on this fender. But we're gonna remove the fender on both sides, and then we'll start working on removing the headlights and the radiator support. While Steven's trying to get the fender liners out, I'm gonna go ahead and just unbolt the headlights. So it's an 8mm socket. I got 2 bolts on the top and 2 bolts on the bottom, and it comes out. And the next thing you want to do is you're going to want to unplug the pigtails. Just like that, and then the headlights out the way now. All right, so on the fender, like I was saying, there's 2 10mm bolts, one there holding the bottom of the fender on, and then in the inside there's going to be another 10mm bolt in there. So once you get those 3 off, don't forget there's one here, and then the ones on this side, the one here, and then the one right there. Once you get all those bolts off, the fender will come right off. All right, so now that we got both fenders off, we can start removing our upper radiator support. So on the upper radiator support, there's gonna be 6 mounting bolts, which are 13mm bolt heads. So there's 2 on the sides, 1 right there. So those 3 are the mounting bolts that mount this to the car. And there's also on this side, there's gonna be 1 and then 2 more there. Other than those bolts, you're gonna wanna take off the brackets for the upper radiator. You're gonna wanna take off the horn. You're gonna wanna take off the hood latch. You're gonna take all those off of there. All right, so once you get all those unbolted and you got your mounting bolts unbolted, you can grab the radiator support and wiggle it a little bit. You don't want to rip it out because you're gonna have brake lines hooked up right here on both sides. And then you're also gonna have a little sensor with a 10mm bolt holding it on both sides. So this sensor, this bracket, and then there's another sensor down there. You get those unbolted and then this whole upper support will come completely off. Once you get these popped out off the brake lines, it will fold forward and then you'll have access to get these sensors off. And once you get those off, this whole support will come out. Now make sure you get all the wires unclipped out of it because you don't want to rip no wires and have to fix them.
Yeah, don't do what we did.
So now that we got the old radiator support out the way, we can start putting in the new one. So basically the same way we took it off, you're gonna want to lay it, sit it and lay it forward just like this, and you're gonna want to bolt your sensors, these sensors on that we just unbolted on both sides. Put your sensors on and then you'll fold it up, clip these clips into these holes where the brake lines clip into, and then you can bolt all your mounting bolts, and then you can put all your horns, your latch and all that back onto the front. All right, now that we got those sensors bolted in, we can lift it up, shimmy it into place. Now you can see that little hole is where that would notch into. So notch those brake lines into the upper. Your mounting bolts, put those back in. All right, we got all the mounting bolts tightened up. Now we can start throwing on our horns and hood latch. You get the radiator support bolted all the way in, you got all your little accessories bolted on, you can start installing the fenders. Now the fender will install just like how the other fender came off. So everything has a notch. You want to slide these bolts, notch those in, and if you look on the inside, that's got to be notched in. And all sits perfectly. You got two bolts there, you got your two bolts there, you got one bolt up here, one bolt inside there, and you got your two 10s on the bottom, and that bolts the fender completely on. And guess what? This car is a 2014 and this is 2015 up fender, and look at that body line. Just like how it was, like it came from the factory. Like I was saying, no modifying needed other than we're gonna have to rewire these pigtails to the newer style headlight. Just like that, the fender's completely bolted on. Body lines match beautifully. Now, we got the passenger fender on. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw this driver fender on. Hold on, it ain't in the inside. So on the older style Charger, these 3 pigtails right here hook up to the 2014 headlights. So you can see there's 3 different actual pigtails. And on the newer style 2015 up, there's only 1 pigtail. So we're gonna have to rewire these wires into these wires like this, splice them in, cut these pigtails off and splice them in so we can have our new headlights being able to plug in and function. So if you pay attention, all the blacks, we got 3 blacks on this newer style pigtail. And if you look, there's 1 black on this one, there's 2 blacks on this one, and there's 1 black on this one. All these blacks are grounds. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna hook this ground to that one, I'm gonna hook these 2 grounds to that 1 ground, and I'm gonna hook this 1 ground to this ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the grounds first, just to get rid of some of the wires being open so we won't get too confused. And then the rest of the wires, I'm gonna show you which ones go where. But first, we're gonna hook up our grounds. So I got all the grounds wired up like how I was just showing you. These 2 grounds wired up to this one ground wired up to that one wired up to that one. Now, after you get the grounds wired up, the next step is we're gonna wire up the high beams and the low beams. On this pigtail right here, on the older style Charger, this has the high beams and low beams. White and gray would be the high beam, and the white and brown would be the low beam. And if you come look at this pigtail, they have white and gray right here, and then they have white and brown right here. So you match those colors. White and brown goes to white and brown, white and gray goes to white and gray. Right, so we got our high and our low beams wired up. This is the old pigtail that I just cut off. So we're done with that one. The next would be to start working on the park, the turn signal, and the running lights. So on this pigtail, we got white and blue. So this pigtail is a ground and a white and blue. This is the park light. And on this pigtail, the park light is this white and orange one. So I'm gonna take this white and blue and wire it up to the white and orange, and that's gonna be the signal for your park light. We got this part wired up. Now we need to work on our turn signal and daytime running lamp. So on this pigtail, we got white and brown, which is our turn signal, and we got white and blue, which is our daytime running lamp. And on this pigtail, we got white and brown for our turn signal. So white and brown will go to white and brown. And then we got white and blue, and it'll go to white and blue. So we get those twisted up, and then we'll be done. All we gotta do is tape up or solder and heat shrink these connections, and then our pigtail will be ready to plug in. We got all the wires wired up, and if you pay attention on the newer style pigtail, there's gonna be 1 wire left over. As you can see, I snipped it really close because that wire is not needed at all for this. Every other wire though will get wired up. They're all pretty much color coded besides these ones right here, orange to blue, but every single other one of these wires are color matched. If you want to know how I wired this up and how I got the information where I know which wire goes to where, look at these diagrams right here. So this is the pigtail diagram for the new body style Charger for 2015 and up. As you can see on the top, it says halogen. There's going to be 2 different headlight housings for the 2015 and up Chargers. There's going to be a halogen and there's going to be a non-halogen. Today we're using the halogen, so this will be the pigtail for this. If you look, you can see all the numbers on the sides. Those numbers label out the pin locations on the pigtail. And if you look even closer, there's the color of the wires and there's the name of the wire. So if you look at the name of the wire, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be matching the name of the wires to the same name on the older style Charger pigtails. So this is the older style Charger pigtail with the high and low beam. Also, it's got some grounds on there. So you're going to want to take the high and match it with the high from the new Charger pigtail, and same goes for the low. You want to match the low beam to the low beam. And you also, it's got the colors so you know which wire goes where. This would be the next pigtail, since on the 2014 Charger has 3 pigtails instead of 1. This pigtail houses the turning signal and the park lamp along with some grounds. You're going to want to match, you know, those up with the other ones also. Colors there so you know which wire is which. And then last pigtail for the older style Charger, we got the park lamp and a ground. So you're going to want to match those with the same ones. That's, if you go back to the other diagram from the newer style Charger, you'll be able to see some that says park lamp, and you just match that wire to the one that's on that pigtail. Do the same process on this side. We're gonna take these 3 pigtails and convert it to 1 pigtail. Now, this is the same process as that side. So you're gonna use the same information that we did on that side to do this side. It's gonna be exactly the same. Got it taped up.
Somebody said, an old man said, you want to sell that car? I said, no, it's not even mine.
Since we got the headlights on, now we're gonna swap out the hood. So they got 2 13s that hold the hood to that bracket on each side. You remove those, leave the bracket on the car because we're gonna try and make the paint marks match the washer on the top and the bottom. And we'll make the paint marks match, and then we'll open and close it after we put the bumper on, and then we'll loosen them up and adjust it side to side to make all the body lines correctly. But for now, we're just gonna make the paint lines to mark, and that'll give us a baseline to start off with. You want to put those clips in the middle just to hold the bumper on, because when you're trying to put the sides on, it'll slide off on you if you're not paying attention. Now, starting to become a car. All right, so the mounting bolts for the bumper, they got a 10 that goes in this hole right here. And then they got 2 10s that come up in here. One would go here, and one would go here. So that's the new body style front end on the 2014, 2013 Charger. You can see by telling them how old the back taillights are. Getting everything bolted up, putting our little push pins in spots that need to be put in. You can see the gap's a little big on this side and it's tight on this side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen the bolts on the hood, shimmy it over a little bit and retighten it until our gaps fit perfectly. Scat pack. And too bad it's got the 5.7. But we're gonna pull that 5.7 out here in the next couple months, and we're gonna be doing a scat pack swap on it. So stay tuned to the future video of this one. Dumbass.
As you can see, the keys are sitting right there on the center console, and we have to pry it open to get the keys out. We got 2 flathead screwdrivers to pry the door open a little bit. What you're going to want to do is get a flat bar to stick in there, and you're going to hit it.
Oh, I think I lost it.
Let's see if we can get a good angle. And just like that, the door's open.
And the keys are right here.
Right there.
All right, so this is the 2014 Charger, and right next to it we got a 2016 Charger. From the front, they look identical, but if you go around to the back is whenever you tell the difference because of the tail lights. But in my opinion, this front end looks way better than the 2014 RT front end. Definitely changed his car look and made it into a monster.
Just finished it up, got everything bolted on, looks nice. If you would do this to your Dodge Charger, comment down below. If y'all like the video, please show some love and like, comment, share, and support. Thank y'all.